Hey guys, happy Sunday. I hope you all had time to breathe today. I'm wearing this t-shirt on purpose with a really strong intention for the way you're going to feel after you've listened and implemented this training, because it's all about balance, the ultimate balance, the ultimate leveraged business, having a life that's wealthy, not just in your bank account, but in time, in memories, in calmness, in the way you feel. That's what we're talking about tonight, because this is a subject that is so close to my heart because I've struggled with it personally. I'll tell you about that in a minute. As you are getting logged in, give me, you know what I'm going to say, give me some hearts if you already know what I'm going to say, because you watch this every Sunday and I say the same thing every week when I start out. Give me a hashtag live if you're watching this live. Give me a hashtag replay if you're watching on replay. And if you're a newbie, give me a hashtag newbie so that I can say hello. But guys, what I want you to do, please, will you do this for me now, as soon as you're getting logged in, is share this straight away so that more people can get logged in and watch this live. And let's share this message of wealth in all areas, a balanced, incredible life alongside financial freedom, because that should be everyone's goal, right? The goal would never be, would it, to just keep working. Said nobody ever on their deathbed, I wish I'd have worked more. They're just, that's just not what you ever hear someone saying. So what I'm really passionate about is teaching people that they can have both. You don't have to sacrifice time for outrageous amounts of money. You don't have to sacrifice your life to be successful. You don't have to be miserable and worried and stressed all of the time to be a seven-figure earner. You just don't. So, competition time, because I run a competition every week, as you know. I want to give you a free copy of my book, and this book is in line with this topic tonight, Miss Moneybags. If you've read it already, you've got it already, that's okay. Still get involved with the competition, because you might give it to somebody that you care about for Christmas maybe. So I want to give you a copy of my book, and here's what you need to do to win it. So, live, replay or newbie, first of all. Hashtag live, hashtag replay or hashtag newbie, depending on if you're live watching on replay or if you're new. And also share. So you have to share it to be in the chance of winning. Let's absolutely reach more people with this message of balance. But also, I want you to comment below. Now here's the thing, I've got a number written down and it represents the time on the video of when someone comments, if that makes sense. So it's not the number, but let's say it is. Let's say the number's 1 minute and 23 seconds. The person that comments closest to 1 minute and 23 seconds will win a free copy of my book, and I'm going to post it to you, and I'm going to pay the postage as well. It's not one of those, oh, win a free copy of my book and then it's 20 quid postage. We're not going to do that to you. So here's what you need to do. You need to comment with the words, the simple way to seven figures. The simple way to seven figures. And whoever comments with that, closest to the time that I've got written down, will get my book. Hey Joe, hey Ellie, hey Leona, say hi as you're getting logged in. So let me just repeat what you got to do to get a free copy of my book. You have to say hashtag live or hashtag replay, depending on when you're watching, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on catch up. Give me a hashtag newbie if you know. Share the video so that we can reach more people with this message of wealth in every area of your life, not just in your bank, and how to achieve it. And then comment the simple way to seven figures. And you can comment as many times as you want to with the simple way to seven figures, so you don't just have to do it once. So the more you comment that, then the more chance you've got of getting it on the time that I've got written down. So for example, if I've written down 1 minute and 23 seconds, which I haven't, and someone comments the closest to that number, Joe's an oldie. No, you're not, don't say that about you. The closest that you comment to that figure means you'll be getting a copy of my book. And the more you comment, the more chance you've got of being close to that figure. Right, let's get started. So the reason I'm getting you to comment the simple way to seven figures is because tonight's about working less and earning more. And the reason I want to help you with that is because I have struggled so intensely with this. And I've been in and out of that struggle for a really long time. So since I've been an entrepreneur, which is 10 years, so I left the corporate world 10 years ago and have since been a full-time entrepreneur. And I would say one of the biggest battles I faced is balance. And I got it wrong for a really long time. And I felt out of control for a really long time. And I felt stressed and worried and anxious for a really long time. And give me some hearts if you can relate to this and you're there now, or even comment and let me know that you can relate to this. For me, I could be, you know, sat in a room watching a movie with my husband and not having a clue what was on the telly because my mind's running a million miles an hour. I felt like I was working harder than everybody else around me. And I'd started a business for a lifestyle. I hadn't started a business for rich and fame. Joe, killing me. Joe Anna Ellis is one of my best friends, but also the mindset coach. And that's all I'm going to say. She's the mindset coach. She's incredible at what she does. She's actually the resident mindset coach for my program, The Wealth Accelerator, because I've wanted the best for my clients and she is the best. And I'm lucky enough to have her in my life, and I've had her in my life for a long time, and in particular when I was at my most intense struggle with balance. And the reason she's just commented saying I'm not going for a walk is because she kind of like staged an intervention once. And I was working away, she came to visit me and said, let's go for a walk. I was like, I'm not going for a walk, I've just got to finish this. She's like, she could see I was really stressed and anxious. She's like, come on, let's go for a walk, it'll do you good. And I'm like, I'm not going for a walk. And I was really rude, and that's where I was at. It's like this frantic, nervous energy, this fear-based work ethic that sees you pushing yourself to the absolute limit in terms of hours and time that you plough into your business. And the thing is, I didn't start a business for that. And when, I'm not going to say, oh, there was this moment that happened and I knew things had to change and I did this one thing and it changed, because that's bollocks. It's not what happened. It's been a work in progress for a while. And I feel like I'm really qualified to share this information with you more than most people, because I'll be the first to admit that it's still a work in progress and I'm still constantly finding new ways to achieve new levels of balance and time. But I can say that right now I have, hands up, like the most incredible life of balance compared to where I was. And one of the moments that really sticks in my mind, one of them was with Jo, as she just reminded me. The other was going into Tesco's once, bearing in mind that one of my biggest fears is having to get a job, and that because I hate the thought of it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with jobs if you love it, but for me, I never felt satisfied in a job. I never felt like I was living my best life and reaching my full potential in a job. I knew that I was destined to run my own business. I wanted to have a life of freedom. And when I was in a job, I felt so restricted. It's why I became an entrepreneur. But I can remember going into Tesco one afternoon and seeing a woman on the till who served me, and she just sat there going beep, beep, and I envied the shit out of her in that moment. I wanted to be her. I wanted to be comfortable and okay with sitting on a till going beep, beep, clocking in, clocking out, and not having to worry anymore. And I knew I'd reach breaking point if I was even thinking that somebody in a job was better off than me at that point, because that was the thing that I hated and the thing that I wanted to get away from. So that is just one of the things that you might be able to relate to. If you've ever looked at other people and thought, oh, you seem to just have more balance than me, or, you know, then you know something's got to change. So that's why I want to share this with you tonight. And what I'm going to share with you is going to be super quick and super simple for you to implement and learn. And there's just 3 things. And the reason it's simple, and the reason I'm getting you to comment the simple way to 7 figures to win a book, is because the more simple the things are that you implement into your business, the easier that they are to do, the more time effective you can be, therefore you can have greater levels of balance and leverage. Everything I teach is simple. I'm sorry to disappoint you if you're looking for like complex or complicated, intricate strategies that are going to take a brain surgeon to work out. It's just, you're not going to find it here, and I'm not the coach or trainer for you if that's what you're looking for, because I actually pride myself on keeping it really simple. Because why make it complicated? Why make it complicated? That just takes up more of your precious time. And we're going to touch on that in a minute. So the simple way to 7 figures. Okay, so 3 things I'm going to share with you that are simple, that are going to help you to create balance quickly. And then we're going to be carrying on this theme over in my group over the next few weeks. That's the Miss Moneybags movement, by the way. You can search that in the chat box in Facebook and add yourself into it. It's a free group, and I do lots and lots of free training in there, so get yourself in there. Right, number 1, where am I? Here's the first thing you're going to do. I hope you got a pen and paper, because you're going to have to write these questions down. You might not be able to answer them straight away on the call. First thing I want you to ask yourself is this: what's the amount of money that you want to earn? That's the first thing. And then how much time are you prepared to sacrifice to earn it? What's the amount of money you want to earn, and how much time are you prepared to sacrifice to earn it? It's a simple question, right? I told you this is going to be simple. And it's simple, but did you ever ask yourself that second part before? Because most people that I'll speak to for the first time, or at least new clients, when we're sitting down and talking about the strategy that we're going to implement in the future, this is the first thing I need to know from them is, how much money do you want to earn every month? And how much time are you prepared to give up each week in exchange for that income? Because if we don't know these things, then we're going to end up creating something potentially that doesn't give us any sort of life, doesn't give us what we want. And most people will know the answer to the first part. Well, I want 10 grand a month, or I want 20 grand a month, or I want 6 figures a month. But most people don't take the time to ask themselves the second part. And I mean really ask this. So when I was looking at this for the first time, there's some things that you're going to want to ask yourself, that you're going to want to know about yourself. Like, you know, I'm 33, I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years now, so I've got a good idea of what I like, you know, the things that are important to me. And I'll give you an example. So when you're asking this second part of the question about time, ask it in a specific way. What do you know to be true about yourself? So I know, for example, over the last 10 years of running my own schedule, or even if you haven't been running your own schedule for that amount of time, you can still do this exercise. I know that I love my mornings. Carolyn, I want 10k a month and I'm prepared to put in 30 hours. Brilliant, brilliant. So when thinking about those 30 hours, for example, and if anybody else that needs to really drill into this and make sure it's the right goal. So I know I love my mornings. I know that for me to have a wealthy life, what my ideal week needs to look like. And this is something I had to get clear on when developing my business strategy. So for example, my mornings are important because I don't want to wake up and feel rushed in the morning. I want to take my time and go for a walk with the dogs, or in this beautiful countryside that we're surrounded with, or sit by the pool and have breakfast with my husband and chat. And I want my mornings to be slow, so I don't want to start work super early. I also don't set an alarm. That's really important to me. I wake up when I'm done sleeping. And that was one of the big reasons that I became an entrepreneur and ran my own business, because I didn't want to wake up to an alarm and then get on public transport or sit in traffic to get to a job. So it was a big thing for me. So I know that I don't want to start work super early. I want to take my time in the morning. So about 10 a.m. is when I would love to start my day. And these are the things I started to ask myself. I also know that in the afternoon, living in Spain, in the summer, I want to take advantage of my afternoons. I want to be able to swim. I want to be able to sit in the sun. I want to be able to go to the beach. What's the point in moving to southern Spain with this amazing climate if I'm going to be stuck in an office all day and can't achieve it? So I don't want to work too far into the afternoon in the summer, so maybe 10 till 12, 10 till 1. But then in the evenings in the summer, I'm cool with being at home and working, so I don't mind doing a few hours in the evening. But in the winter, it's the opposite. In the winter, I love to spend my evenings out, going to cinema, shopping, snuggling up in front of a good movie and eating chocolate. Like, I don't know, I feel like I hibernate in the winter. So it changes slightly. So working all that out and knowing that I want one day off a week where I don't do anything at all and I just spend that time with my husband or family, then I need to factor that in. So then you can start adding it up. And be really specific about this. You are designing your life. And no one's going to design it for you, are they? You know, I can remember one of my mentors a few years ago. I was in America and I went to see him. And I was exhausted and I'd got bags under my eyes and I looked like shit, and he told me that. As soon as I walked in the office, he went, "You look like shit." And I was like, "Thank you." I'm really tired. And he went, you're working too hard. And I was like, well, I have to. My diary's rammed and I started ranting at him. And he just looked at me and went, whoa, whose fault's that? Because I didn't fucking organise your diary. And I didn't put your business plan in place for you. You've done that. Any business owner or entrepreneur that creates their own schedule, develop their own strategy and design their own life, the buck stops with you. If you're busy and underpaid, that's your fault. And I was like, wow, like that's true. It's totally true that I've created this and it is my fault. And if I'm going to do something about it, I need to think really carefully about what that looks like. This is why I'm telling you, my old diary was crazy. Joe, it was like, I had to plan to take a pee because I just had like no time at all. It was ridiculous. And I created that monster. So this is why I'm saying to you, get so specific about what you want your life to look like and how much money you want to earn in exchange for those hours. Because if you don't do it now, there's never going to be a good time. You're going to head down into the realms of building this business that suddenly runs you. You don't run it, because then you're trapped by the income that it provides you. And bad move. Do this work now. Promise you that you won't regret it. Number 2, when we've done that work and we know how much we want to earn every month and we know how much of our time we're prepared to sacrifice for that amount, we're now in a strong position because we're designing our life and we know what it's going to look like before we've got there. We're not just arriving going, oh shit, I'm busy all the time, now what do I do? We're planning it. So now the second thing we need to do is do the simple maths. What do I mean by that? Okay, we need to do the simple maths on what our business needs to look like to have that amount of hours with that amount of time. And is what we're currently doing going to give us that? I'm going to give you an example. This is something I do with my clients in like our first or second session that we ever have together. So let's say you're my client now and I'm asking you this question. How much money do you want to earn every month? And you say to me, I want to earn 10 grand a month. That's my starting point, 10K. Okay. And what's your service or offer? One-to-one coaching. And how much do you charge? I charge £1,000 a month. Brilliant. And how much time do your clients get with you for £1,000 a month? 1 hour a week. So I now know that you need 10 clients to earn 10,000 a month, because they're all paying you 1,000 each, right? And you're going to be working 10 hours a week coaching those clients in exchange for that 10K. You following? So now the question, and how many hours would you like to work each week to achieve it? And what's not okay, which what normally comes out at this point, is whatever it takes. I guarantee whatever it takes won't be the answer in a few years when you're fucking exhausted. You'll want to be way more specific than that. So let's say you've actually done this properly and you've worked it all out and you've worked out that it's 20 hours a week. Well, if you're coaching for 10, you've got to generate those clients, which means you need to have some sales calls in the diary. Let's say if you want 10 clients, you need 20 sales calls a month in the diary to have a consistent 10 clients every month. So now we've got 5 hours a week coaching, 10 hours a week. We've got 10 hours a week coaching, 5 hours a week selling. We've now got 15 hours a week, and you haven't even answered your messages yet. You haven't even done a video on Facebook yet. You haven't produced any content yet. You're already way over what you wanted to earn. Your business model's not going to work, and you're not going to be able to scale it up as it is. So we need to rework the figures, and we need to have a better plan. So your numbers, that's what you need to do for your business. The simple maths. Now, if you're looking at me at the moment going, I can't do the simple maths, there could be a few reasons for that, and I want to address those reasons. The one might be you're not in control of your business, so you can't control the maths because you're not in control of every component. And I would say that that's not the business that's going to give you serious financial security and wealth going forward, and I'd find something that you can absolutely control to run alongside it. Because total control equals phenomenal wealth. If you can't control an aspect, so you can't make it an exact science, then we need to think of a plan B. If the service or product isn't yours, for example, so it could be changed in a week, a month it might go off sale and you've got no business left, or if other people and their actions are going to contribute towards your success, then you can't exact science this, and you're going to be looking at me scratching your head going, I don't know how to do the maths on that. And that's because you don't have control. And I'd say you need a business or income stream that you do have control over to be able to have control over your wealth and your time and your balance, and that's important. The second thing is you might not understand what you need to do. You might not know the figures off the top of your head, like, well, I need X amount of sales calls to generate X amount of clients, for example, in which case you need to get some help. So get some help. Know the figures. Know exactly in detail what you need to do and how much of it you need to do to get the result that you want. And then ask yourself, does it tie in? Can I achieve that in that amount of hours and equal that amount of money? And if not, I need a different strategy. I need to rethink it. But don't start building the business without knowing we've got the right foundation in place. You would never build a house without making sure the foundations were secure. You would never buy a piece of land, grab some bricks and start laying bricks. You'd design it in detail. You probably would design your holiday in more detail than most people design their business and life, because it's true that people just go, oh, that seems like a good, smart business idea, let's just get to work on it, and then end up creating a monster that completely controls them. So let's just quickly recap. Step 1, how much do you want to earn? And in exchange for how much money? Step 2, do the simple maths. What steps do I need to take and how long is it going to take me to earn that amount of money? Know that you've got complete control over it. If not, find something you have got complete control over. And if you don't know the answer, find it. Last and final point, number 3. This is the question you're going to ask on point 3. When we know what we want and how many hours we're prepared to work to get it, the next question we want to ask is, what is the simplest, most time-effective way for me to achieve that result? What is the simplest, most time-effective way for me to achieve that result? Not the sexiest, the thing that makes me look the best, the thing that rubs my ego the most, the thing that's going to achieve that very thing that I started out to achieve, because that's what I'm staying true to. If I started a business because I want to travel the world, have time with my family and love my work and have weekends off and evenings to spend with my children when they get back from school, then that's why you started a business. How can I find the quickest, simplest route to that? I know what I need to do because I've done the maths. So I need X amount of sales calls, for example. So if I need X amount of sales calls, what is my simplest route, most effective and least time consuming route to get 20 sales calls in the diary every single month? The simplest way. Now, if you don't know that, if you don't know the answer to that question, here's what I want to do for you tonight. I want to help you answer it, because I am so passionate about this. I've developed my entire business, life's work, around helping women to become wealthy, the wealthy women. That's what it's all about for me. But not just money, time. And that's why over the next week, I'm opening up my diary and I'm allocating time every day to deal with inbox messages that come in from you guys that don't know what the quickest and easiest way for you to achieve your goal is, that's feeling confused. But here's the thing, I'm going to commit to doing this and it's going to take up a lot of my precious time. And I've just told you how much that time means to me and how valuable it is. So for me to give you that time and answer your messages, I need a commitment from you. And I need you to commit that you'll do step 1 and 2 properly before you ask me about step 3. So you need to come to me and say, look, this is how much money I want in exchange for this amount of hours a week. I've worked out that this is what I need to achieve to do it, but I don't know the quickest and easiest way. And I'll help you with that. I will allocate time and I will dedicate it to you in my inbox to help you with that. That is my gift to you, but I need you to do step 1 and 2. If you haven't done step 1 and 2 first, I'm not even going to reply. So there's no point in messaging, because I need you to meet me halfway. And I said it was simple, didn't I? Really simple. Step 1, how much do I want to earn? How many hours am I prepared to work to do it? Step 2. Step 2 is do the simple maths. What does my business need to look like? What do I need to achieve, generate? Step 3, what's the quickest and easiest, most simple plan to helping me get it, and that's where you can inbox me. And I'm going to brace myself for the messages, and I'll come back to each and every one of you personally, I promise, in good time. I will try my best to be as quick as I can. If you're waiting for a reply for a day or two, you know, just know that I will get to you as long as you demonstrate to me that you've done step 1 and 2 first. Thank you so much for listening tonight. I wanted to keep it quick and simple and easy because I know how precious your time is. But guys, take part in the competition if you haven't done already. If you're not sure what the competition is, you might have to stop the video again to listen. Mwah.